Hey, good morning. Have you ever had something that you thought was really, really good turn out to be not so good at all? Or something that you thought was the worst thing that could possibly have happened? And it ended up after everything was settled and it was all done and the consequences realized that it was actually the best thing that could have happened. Sometimes our perception at the moment is completely wrong. Sometimes it's right. But in this particular case, we look at the law, thou shalt not, or the speed limit, or the red light. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to go faster. I don't want to stop. Why is this light thinking for me? I can see there's no traffic. I could go safely. But the law says until the light turns green, you stay stopped. If the light turns yellow, if you're in the intersection, here's the law. If you're in the intersection, get out. If you're not in the intersection, don't enter it. That's for the yellow light. For the green light, we all know what that means. So these laws and these rules for traffic, these laws and these rules for taxes, we have laws and rules for society so that we can get along. They form guardrails and fences and keep us relatively safe. Well, the law of God today is the law of love. A law that Paul's talking about in this letter to the Romans is the law of Moses, the law that he gave to Israel. We call it the Old Testament. And it is a definition and even up to a demonstration of righteousness, declaring what is good and what is evil. So Paul is carrying on his argument here in chapter 7, and he says, therefore, did that which is good, that is the law, did that which is good become a cause of death for me? Well, may it never be. Rather, it was sin, in order that it might be shown to be sin, by effecting my death through that which is good, so that through the commandment, sin would become utterly sinful. It's not the law that made me wrong. It was sin that made me wrong. The law identified right and wrong. Paul says the law did not cause my death. Sin caused my death. The law just illuminated it. The law is good, but sin through the law slew me, killed me. But Paul is maintaining a very clear position that the law is good. It is perfect, it's right, it's whole. It is accomplishing what it was intended to accomplish. So it's good. We look at Adam and Eve, and, Adam says, the woman that you gave me. So he's really blaming God. He's really saying, God, this law that you created, this rule that you made, that's what's the problem. I have in my phone, I don't have time in this to read it, but I've entitled it Frump's Folly. This attorney has said we should, or not Crump's Folly, that we should redefine crime. The definitions that we have for crime today, that's the problem. Our definitions are the problem. Our declaring this thing is a crime, that's the problem. So we just need to change our definition of crime. And the crime rate will just go away. I'm thinking, what foolishness is this? So you can look it up. His name is Crump, C-R-U-M-P. And it'll blow you away. But the idea is that when we look at the cross, we see what sin really is. We see what sin really does, because God made him who knew no sin to be sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in Christ. So if you want to know what sin really is, if you want to know what sin really does, take a look at Jesus on the cross. And then let that resonate through your heart. Let that proclamation echo through the chambers of your mind, and realize that sin, in all of its deceptive forms and candy-coated verbiage, candy-coated words, is still sin. And the result is still the same. So don't make any provision for the flesh. in regard to its lusts and recognize sin for what it is, and let the law do its work, illuminating your heart and your mind. And then we can know the truth, and the truth really will set us free. Thank God for Jesus. He loves you, and we love you. I'm looking forward to seeing a whole bunch of you tomorrow as we gather together here at Fremont. If you're not in Fremont, then get to a church gathering where you can fellowship, celebrate the Lord's Supper, and proclaim his death until he comes, and feast upon the apostles' doctrine, pray together. God bless you. He does love you, and we love you.